Hi there, welcome to this second Farlows Beginner's Guide. I'm Nick Hart, Farlows Fishing Manager, and today we're going to be looking at your first fly line. We're going to be talking about weights and tapers and densities as well. Now, if none of that means anything to you, then please stop right here, go back, check out our first guide, and then come back and have a look at this one. We're here on a small still water. We're going to be checking out why these are such a great place for the novice fly angler, and we're also going to be looking at some ideal fly line choices. Like any sport, you need somewhere to start, and these small still waters are absolutely perfect for first-time fly fishers. Think of it as a little bit like a driving range that a golfer uses to practice a swing and get good at that stroke. This particular small still water is the Game Fishing Centre at Reading, Sportfish Game Fishing Centre. It's really easily reached from London, and it's an absolutely perfect place for a novice. There's loads of back casting room. I can see the other bank over there, so it's not going to be too daunting. And even more of a confidence booster, there are a whole bunch of fish here rising. It's an ideal place to get all of those skills and hook, play, and land your very first trout. So we're down here now by a small still water, and in my hand, I've got a typical small still water setup. This is a 9-foot rod, takes a 6-weight line, and the fly line, very importantly, is balanced with it. Balanced with this rod, it's a 6-weight fly line. The fly line profile is a weight forward, which means up at the business end, nearest to the fly, it's nice and thick, and then it tapers down and eventually ends up really thin. This will be the line that will lay by our feet, and when we make the cast with that weight forward, the heavy line will rush out over the water and the thin line will follow it. So a 6-weight is a really good starting place. Before you begin casting, always remember, wear a hat, wear a pair of sunglasses. Fly fishing is a pretty safe sport, but those flies are moving at great speed, and so this will just keep you safe while you're casting. Now let's have a little look at what makes a good fly line and some good brands out there to get you started. So there are a lot of good fly line products out there, but a couple of the giants of the fly line world are Cortland and also RIO. So one of our favorites is this. This is the Cortland 444. It's a classic fly line. It's been around for a long time. It's really popular with stillwater anglers fishing small stillwater and even big reservoirs. It's in this really nice sort of peach color, very easy to see, really good for bite detection on the water, and also nice when you're casting because it has a super slick coating. Also, the other great thing with this line is it's superb value for money. So the second fly line that you might like to consider is this. It's the RIO Gold. It's one of the best-selling fly lines of all time. Now, it's a little bit more expensive than the Cortland, but one of the things that I really like about it is that it's a two-tone line. What this means very simply is that the head section, that's the heavy bit at the front of the line, is in this nice sort of green color, and then at the back, the running line, the thin line that's going to chase after this, is in a yellow. What that means is it's very easy to see how much line you've cast, how much is outside the top of the rod, how much is in. I really like that feature. Another thing that makes RIO fly lines special is max cast. Now, max cast is something that they add to the coating, which actually helps to repel water. It's hydrophobic. What this means is that when you pick the line up, it comes off the water really easily, which is fantastic for a beginner. And that fly line will ride really high in the water. It really is a true floating fly line. Another thing that I like about them is that this particular line stretches a little bit. So if you're a beginner, you strike a little bit too hard, it's a bit more forgiving than non-stretch fly lines. And the final thing is they come with these really helpful welded loops, and that makes it super simple to rig up a RIO fly line. So the last fly line that I looked at, the RIO Gold, I mentioned the core and the stretchability of it. Now that's really important because fly lines would have absolutely no strength in them if it wasn't for the core. There's a core, and then the manufacturer bonds PVC plastic, in most cases, to the outside. Now this is an interesting fly line because this is also a RIO Gold, but it's made with what they call the Connect core. It's the InTouch series, and that means that it's a non-stretch fly line. It's perhaps a little bit better for the more proficient fly caster who's been fishing a little more. It will give you fantastic bite detection. It also has the max cast properties that help it to float nice and high in the water. And it also comes with the welded loop, so it's really easy to rig. The final floating line that we're going to take a quick look at is this. This is the RIO Grand. Now what's special about this line is that they've actually played around with the taper of it. They've stuck more of the weight at the very front end of the line. That makes this line really good if you've got a rod that doesn't bend a lot, what we call a fast action rod. But also, if you're a beginner, it really helps you feel the rod when you're making the cast. And in actual fact, it would be correct to say that this, albeit that it says that it's a weight forward and that it's a 6, that in fact it's almost like a 6.5. So if you feel that you need something that when you're casting helps you, then it might be worth taking a little look at this, the Rio Grande. So to recap buying your first fly line, have a think about the taper you're going to buy, and I would definitely suggest a weight forward profile. Also consider the weight that you're going to use. For small still waters, a 6 is great, but you may want to try a 5 or even a 7. And look for fly lines that are really nice and limp, that don't hold too much memory. And also remember, of course, that the coating is very important. You want something that's super smooth, runs through the rod rings easily. The next time that we meet, we'll be down at the small still water again, and this time we're going to go subsurface and have a little look at intermediates and sinkers. But for now, I hope you really enjoy your time on the water. I'm going to have a little go at fishing here.